Okay guys, welcome to another GA flying video. Today we will be doing something special. We will be flying the Transall from AzurPoly, but not just from A to B, but we will be taking part in a Miltech Mission Hub mission designed specifically for this plane. This will be a mission during wartime. As you can see by the livery, we'll be providing humanitarian aid services. So in short, there is a civil war between the temporary government and some rebels, and we will be trying to help the people that can suffer during this war. So the introduction is here provided, but I can pretty much tell you. So we are very close to the front line. The front line has pretty much reached this airport where we are at. So we have loaded up all of the panicked refugees, and now we need to take off very fast, pretty much. Okay, so this is also what we will be doing. We'll be doing an emergency takeoff. So we will accelerate all of the steps needed, but still it will be a proper takeoff, just not with all of those steps. Okay, so sorry, I just need, yeah, okay. Okay, APU start. All of the fuel pumps can go on. Okay, can also prepare the IRSs, but they will go online as soon as we will have generator power. Okay, and we can also already switch the first engine to start, because this is what we will be doing. The APU is starting. Okay, just stay with me. I know it's not a normal start for a video, but you will see as soon as we get rolling, right? Then the mission will start and everything will be clear. And once again, it's not only to present you the mission hub, which has a lot of additional new functions that we will discuss, but also to show this great plane and its natural habitat of not only flying from A to B, but really flying in hostile territory, right? Okay, so let's go back here. We can start the bleed air from the APU and can go back here. So this is the APU generator. Okay, with this the APU generator is on. This is bleed air from the APU generator. Is it still closed? Okay, let me just... is it already at 100%? This is what happens if you... No, the bleed air is already here. Okay, so it was only the generator. This is fine, this is fine, this is fine, this is fine. So with this, we can pretty much start. This is the start mode button, like in an Airbus, right? And we can already start the first engine. And you can see it here. It needs to reach 2000 here. Okay, nice. Can open the window. Okay, and it will stabilize at 10. I have to say, it's really impressive that the RPM is so high, right? Okay, I think already loud enough for you, so we can close it. And as soon as it's stabilized, yep, you can just turn it back to normal mode, and now this one to start mode. Okay. Okay, this one starts. Nice, nice, nice. In this situation, we won't be using any lights, right? But I can show you where they are. So here we have the anti-collision light, right, the position light, and when it comes to the landing lights, they are here. That's saying we are now fighting for our life, right, in this scenario, so we won't be using any lights. We just want to get out of here as fast as possible. Okay, nice, stabilized, back to normal. Okay, and this also goes back to normal. Okay, with this we have the generators. Okay, nice. We want our instruments. Okay, those are still aligning, but in this plane it's pretty fast. FMC, no transponder, no radar for now. It's supposed to be fast. Okay. Okay, and with this we are pretty much ready. Normally we would turn off the APU, but this is something that we can do in the air once we are safe. One additional step, methanol injection. This will allow the engines to reach like a higher power setting. Okay. Okay, and we can start the mission. Oh, this might have been like a record. Okay. So if you want to see the whole correct starting process, I also have a video that I will just blend in now. It should be at the top of the video. And we also can see our objective from the mission. And as you can see, there is a timer. We have to run away as soon as possible. You can see smoke already here and fire there. So this is also something that the mission hub does. Okay. Now you can hear the great sounds. And an additional fire has appeared here. So pretty dramatic, but this is the point. Okay, gear up. And let's climb as fast as we can. Okay, flaps up. Okay, now we can see the new heading. Yeah, so like it's a totally different feeling than just like buying this plane and flying it from A to B. It was just really boring and like doesn't feel like anything special then. And I do know it's a little bit over the top, like real operations don't look like this. Well, sometimes they do, right? Because we know it from news items. But this is a little bit more like an action movie, right? With all of those exciting Hollywood scenes happening in one mission. Okay. So let me now stabilize the flight a little bit. Okay, we can do some outside views. I just need to make sure I'm trimmed, because with this speed it's not so easy. We are thundering like 290 knots over the ground. It's so much fun to fly it. It's like an overpowered tank, pretty much. And you can feel the inertia of it. Like the insane power of those engines. So during the flight, I will also show you the change logs, both for the plane and for Mission Hub. There was like lots and lots of changes. Well, less for the plane, but still important ones, but more for the Mission Hub. Okay, so maybe you can already see it. There is also like a fire and smoke in front of us. So this is also one of those new Mission Hub features, right? That you can spawn it in dynamically whenever you need it and like wherever you need it. Which makes the whole experience much more dynamic. Yeah, it's so much fun to hand fly, really. And like in the beginning when I bought it, I was like flying normal A to B missions, right, routes. And while it was like okay, because it's also a good plane after all of those updates, after the native update, it was not as much fun as this one. Okay, let me just stabilize over the water. Can push it a little bit more. I can show you some views. Okay, so here we have some additional context in the message on the right. So this is also something that can be added, right? A description of what is happening, or like what is expected from, well, the pilot in this case. So just to change the topic, I was working a little bit on the graphical fidelity of my videos, because oftentimes there were scenes in the videos where I was totally amazed by how beautiful they are, but then after converting it and uploading it to YouTube, they were kind of ugly. So obviously I would like to avoid this in future. So I was reading a lot, and I think I have some ideas, and this will be the first video where I will try them out. So if you will see a sudden increase in quality, please let me know. If it will be for some reason worse for you, please also let me know in the comments. Yes, so the prior part of the campaign was in those mountains to the left. Yeah, some very nice nuanced sounds. When it comes to the engine sounds, I can really hear the difference even if I just slightly change the throttle setting. And I have to say, the cockpit also looks really good, especially with this light here. Yeah, but with the exterior textures, and this one it's kind of a hit and miss. From some perspectives and in some lighting conditions it looks great, but then sometimes the light comes from the wrong direction, I don't know, and then it kind of looks well, ugly, pretty much. So once we have reached the objective, I will start showing you the change logs, because now I am hand flying, so it's not so easy. Yeah, so especially for the mission hub, it's a very long list, and it includes some really amazing stuff. So for example, the introduction of scripts, right, that are now freely accessible from the menu. I mean, I think I understand that you can write some, because the documentation for those new functions is not fully ready yet. I was checking today, it's not on the help portal of Mission Hub. And something that looked really, well, that sounded really interesting was the introduction of additional pictures that you can blend in during the mission. As far as I understand, okay, so we have some additional information. Yeah, I know, a lot of reading, okay? So in our case, we are already pushing it. We are already at the red line. Okay, let's not get too low. And do some views. Okay. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120, Oops. Yeah, some really nice area. As I said, this mission pack, this campaign, is fully fictional, right? So it's not a real country, but obviously, well, real terrain was used from a real country, right? It's just the fluff that is neutral, so just to make more things possible with the narrative that we will use. Okay, so somehow we managed to start this like very complicated plane in just a couple of minutes, and it seems like I haven't forgotten anything, which surprises me the most, I guess. Okay, so let's climb a little bit and go into the clouds then. Yeah, some very nice views. We will see if they will be also nice on YouTube. Okay. Okay. Okay, so let's hold here more or less. Okay, and we'll use the autopilot. So hold mode. Oh wait, I can feel it moving because I have the camera here. Okay, so we have the height set up. Now we can use the autopilot. Okay, let's center the heading pack. If I can find it. Yep. And it's here. Heading select and altitude. Okay, here we can see the radio altimeter. This will warn us if we would be flying into a mountain, right? And we can turn into the right direction. Okay. And as we are now in a safer area, we can turn on the lights and the collision lights. Okay. We can turn on the transponder so we don't get shot down by our own people, right? And we can also turn on the weather radar. Okay. Additional stuff, we are on the generators, okay, so we can turn off the APU generator. Okay. And we can also turn it off here. Okay, so no APU needed. Let me do a quick outside view for you guys. Okay, enough. As we are still not sure how safe we are, we can enable the flare system. Okay, and for now, let's just proceed. It's a little bit... This is for the lights. If it will be getting dark, we will already have some lights here. Okay, so let me show you the changelog then. So first, the one for the plane. As you can see, there has been a pretty current change after SIM update 4, right? And there were some problems with the lights, like with many planes, and they have fixed it. And while this is not like a serious change, it's a good sign, right? That developer still cares about this plane. Okay, and this is the biggest update. And there are two big changes, pretty much. The CG limits, because they were, wrong, right? The standard CJ setting was wrong, and because of that, it was really hard to take off. Like, you had to yank it for the ground using a lot of force. And this one, fixed nose diving when changing target altitude, okay? Because before that, if you were providing an altitude here, right? Then it was immediately pitching up or down pretty violently to reach it. Now, this really only works as alt select, right? So the plane will do nothing until you start, climbing or descending. And you will be climbing, let me just see because there is some turbulence, and you will be climbing and descending using this one. So this is down and this is up. And this is also important because it's different than in other planes. Let me just show you. Okay, so let's say we want to climb to 3000, okay? So we need to make sure we are in the right place, and we are, and just provide 3000, okay? And we are still flying straight. And now we want to go up, so we need to use up. And this is important because did it really... Come on, plane. I was just doing it like 5 times. Let me just make sure everything is set up correct. Why is it... I clicked it now. Did I click it incorrectly? That's strange. Either way, before this one time where I was recording, it was always working. Up is up, right? And it's different than another old autopilots where down is up. Okay. Whew. Okay, and this is pretty much it when it comes to the plane. Important changes, and also in the logic of the FMS. I'm not really using the FMS too much. If I'm using it, I'm mostly using VOR, but there is also FMS guidance, right? And as an interesting fact, a GPS magenta path is also something that you can create in the mission hub. Right? So when creating the mission, you can also already provide a path for the person that will be flying it. Okay, so also pretty neat. Okay. Let me just look around what the situation is. Okay, so we are in the clouds. Okay, so I'm not sure if you have seen it. There was like a missile that required us to evade suddenly. And it's possible to fail the mission, right? If you don't evade, like do a sharp turn or dive, then you will get a message that the mission is failed, the plane is damaged, and you cannot proceed. Right? And then you have to restart it. So I think that this is like a moment where this picture appearing might be great, right? Some sort of warning in the middle of the screen, so it's not so punishing. So this is something that I'm also exploring. Obviously, like some kind of sound would be also great, but like there is no function like this yet. Okay, let us go down a little bit. So we will be able to benefit from those great views. And I think after this is a good opportunity to also show you the mission hub changes. So let me just stabilize the plane a little bit. Let's just go 2500. Okay. And let's turn this back on. It's a pretty primitive and simple autopilot. So I assume that like this operation of it might be maybe realistic. Hard to say. I guess we might need more. Let me just reduce the glare here a little bit. Let's go 2600 maybe, or 2700. Nope. Yep. Okay. And now here. Okay, this is going up. But as it's blue, I'm just assuming it's already close enough that it's in this capture mode, right? And it does regulate the, well, not the V-speed, right, but the pitch itself. Okay, and we can also go back to heading hold. Oop. And I guess we can just turn through this valley here. Okay, so some nice views. Not this one. Okay, nice sunset. And once we are over those mountains here, and before I show you the changelog, I want to show you the flares. I just don't want to be in the... Yeah, I think this is a good opportunity. So we have them armed already, right? And now let's launch them. Yeah, pretty neat. And when I was using them for the first time, they were not working. I mean, they were launching, but the graphical effect seemed bugged, right? Nice views over the jungle here. Nice, nice. Okay. So let me just move a little bit here to the side. Okay, and I think now is a good moment to show it to you. So this is the plane, this one we have already discussed, and this is the mission hub. As you can see, lots and lots and lots of stuff. So a lot of additional objects were added, which is great because you can use them for like all of your custom ideas that you have, like a cannon, many tents, and a lot of stuff, and this can be all spawned and despawned whenever you need it. This is what we have used, smoke, right? This is the image that I was talking about, that you can blend it in, so I would need to experiment with it. There's also astronaut rescue, which might be fun, lost hiker, and there's also this new mission type, landable SAR activity. So this is something that I had to do by my own before, because it was not scripted, like adding lots and lots of objects and triggers to make it work, but now it's a thing, right? And when it comes to the other improvements, you can just pause the video, right, and read them. For me, there is not so much, only this one is great, because as you could see probably, I really like long descriptions, and this allowed me to provide longer scenario descriptions here, right? Okay, and other stuff also, feel free to pause and check it out. Okay, so those are for specific missions that are part of the pack, okay? Yeah, so many great changes. I'm so glad that I invested money into the mission hub, because it's just amazing. Okay, let me maybe move down a little bit. So there might be some great terrain here. Yeah, some nice detail. Okay, maybe not in the clouds, right? But still. And I think with this, we can just jump ahead a little bit, and we will see each other once we are closer to the objective. Okay, and we are back. Let's just change to manual control, and we will see what will happen. As you can probably expect by now, nothing is easy on this mission, so let's see how it continues. Okay, so let's enter the holding then. Okay, and we got permission now. Let's not run into the terrain. And you can see the heading also close to the message, right? Let me just stabilize the plane so we can use this VOR that was provided. Blub, blub, blub. Trim, trim, trim. Okay. Okay, so 114.3. So we have it here. 114.3. Okay, pre-transfer. Okay. And the course is 048. So let's just use it. It's here. Obviously it would be easier with a co-pilot, but we can also use it. Okay. So let's join the approach course then. Some nice views here. Let's hope that like on YouTube they will be also nice. Once again, testing new stuff. Okay, the deviation indicator is moving, so I think we can turn. Okay, let's get rid of some speed. So we do have very strong speed brakes. Look, let me just show them to you. Okay. Okay, let's close them. And now let's start with the flaps deployment. So we have them here. It has lots and lots of inertia, which really feels great. Okay, so obviously this is not an ILS, so we have like no vertical deviation, only the horizontal one, or like the lateral one. And it's also not as precise as an ILS. Okay, I just need to get rid of some speeds. It's like the speed is insane. We are pretty much almost fully packed, and still it's not easy to get rid of it. So approach speed is around 110, but it strongly depends on the payload. There's like a very large and complicated table for it. Also, this plane is also known for this like Sarajevo approach that is very steep, and is also done using the speed brakes. But in this case, I think a normal 40-degree landing will be okay. Gear down. I mean, it's so overpowered. I have like minimum throttle, and still it's not easy to get rid of the speed. Reverse thrust. Manual braking. Okay. Let's get rid of the landing lights, taxi light. Love the sounds. Oops. Okay. And we will be parking somewhere here. Okay, so you can see the ending. The ending is not an ending yet. This is supposed to be a longer campaign. Let me just turn off all of the stuff so those soldiers don't get cancer. We can start the APU. Okay, let it transit a little bit, and now we can turn on the APU. Let's go outside. The APU is here, right? Yeah. Okay, is it at 100%? Not yet. Once we have the electricity from the APU, we will turn off the engines. Okay, we can also use bleed, then go up here. We could benefit from some additional light, which is here. Okay, APU generator, like this. Okay, generators off. And we can turn off the engines. And we can also turn, I will open the ramp. Okay. And we can also kneel down, which is a nice feature. Let me just, here, TFB, here, fuse lowering. Okay. Okay, nice. Okay, guys, so looking for a good view. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this custom mission. I hope maybe I have convinced some of you to try out Miltech Hub, because for me it's one of the best products ever. But I'm just a person who likes telling a story and also experiencing the custom stories created by others. And one of the future videos, the close ones, will be probably this this campaign with the virus spreading in a small town, the one for the helicopter that can be also downloaded. So we will see how this will work out. And with this, thank you very much for watching the flight, and see you in future videos. Bye bye.